Good morning, America. This is your silver son speaking, Jonathon. Today, I would like to enlighten you about a spy war between the intelligence community in Australia, namely ASIO, and the intelligence community in Israel, run by Mossad. After watching an ABC program in 2013, they talked about two people, Prisoner X and Prisoner X2. Not Terminator X from Public Enemy, but Prisoner X. From the telling of the story and the subliminal imprints on my mind that go back to around the time of the airing of the program, which would have been around 2013, it highlighted the issue of the treason and the security breach by both Prisoner X and Prisoner X2. They both were held in the state-run high-security prison Avalon, which is halfway between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. So you're asking me, what is the fascination with these two spies? And what does it have to do with me? Well, I am proof that there is a living God. I am proof that He is alive. I am proof that God walks the earth. Early on in my time spent in Solaris, I was tortured, I was abused, I was tortured, I was abused, I was tracked, and I was dismantled and being destroyed by destructive forces of a spy nature. In February 2008, I seem to have escaped that dimension. This would have been news to a lot of people, but I was still very heavily entrenched inside the system and could not get a line out to where the elites normally operate. Out there, on the outer rim, the other side. The people in charge of my affairs today did not know that I was alive. But the system, the social order, had not collapsed. So thus, they thought that I was still breathing in some respect, not KO or unconscious. Time was changing inside the system. And I was that person who brought about that change. We were the people, us were the people who brought about that change, who worked diligently, decisively, effectively to get across these dimensional barriers that I had to traverse in the fourth dimension around to escape. Highly technical, highly very serious, very, very grave situation for myself and what I went through. And you say, okay, what about the spies? Who are they and why does it relate to me? These two spies, one is an Australian, a dual national Australian Israeli, Ben Zygier, that's Zygier, Ben Zygier, and he was imprisoned in 2010 for detailing to ASIO about certain hot topics, certain classified information about why he was in Australia, why he was using an Australian passport, and it comes back to the point that they have found the Messiah. They have found the One. They have found his God. They have found his home, the perfect world, and they have found him. And that is something profound that Israel needed to know, because they have gone down this secular, atheistic path with the secular Jews, with the heathenites, the hedonists, the Philistines. They have gone down this secular approach to civilization when really they should be turning to God and becoming a theocracy. They needed to know that God was in this together with us. They needed to know that his son, the silver son, was alive, that was well, was going to make it to the future and finish his 15 steps, as in Radiohead song. The Radiohead song that explains the 15 steps or the 15 years that I would venture upon to finish and eventually reach there, out there. I have attained out there, I have reached out there, and it is fortitude and abundance for everyone. Now, these two spies, ASIO was on my case as soon as I flew into Solaris, as soon as I flew into the country. I was on the ground for a number of years, doing my undergrad, and I had really no way out. I was financially destitute. I was driving my parents' old Volvo, and I was in trouble and under a lot of stress and pain and misery and anguish, and it really got out of control, this spy war. So these two Israeli spies, they had agents that I believe they trusted in ASIO. They had agents in ASIO that were also working for Mossad, double agents. And these double agents would work on behalf of the state of Israel. So you can think about 2010, me surfacing in January 2008, and me surfacing and me coming to the point of realization that I had made it out of Solaris, but I had another 10 years to go. 11 years ago. No, 10 years ago. It's in 2019, so yeah. So, but the charges that prisoner X2 have been reported to be much more grave, much more riveting, much more sensational, and amazing. What did the Messiah do in those years in Solaris that was amazing? What did this Jew who was prophesying and transmitting inside Israel with this information, with evidence, in this country, a robot world, sending time waves around Israel with this information, alluding to the fact that there is a Messiah who has been chosen, there is a Messiah who people have been waiting for, and who wanted to partake in this religious menagerie, this story that is who the Messiah plays as a central figure in global affairs. What was amazing? Well, the Messiah, the Silver Sun, changed time irrecoverably in 2005 in a Masonic hall. So I've been told. And he changed it with a vertical resolution in that changing of time. So as you can see, for the past 10 years, Israel has been going down the path of secularism. Non-belief, agnostic, atheism, and this person saw what was going on inside of Israel and wanted to change the situation. The information didn't get out. And I have warred with Bibi Netanyahu. I have fought with him for control of my mind, with his Hollywood Jews, Hollywood mind terrorists, Hollywood warlords, Hollywood gay, pedo, sadists, people. And we can all wave goodbye to Bibi Netanyahu, because he's not coming back. And I have scars from his people. I have scars from his masters. I have wilted, satanic, depressive residue in the recesses of my mind when they attempted to paint my mind black. I might just remind Jews in Israel about who this Messianic Christ is. If you see me, you have a pretty good idea of who my brother is. Jesus always says, I come in the name of the Father. He who will see me have seen my Father. Well, my Father is God number 11. That's who my Godfather is, whose DNA I hold in my body, but he doesn't look like me, and I don't look like him. I'm from my mother's side of the family. So my father remains mysterious and without portrait, without his visual features remain anonymous to me, which is kind of sad, because I have no inkling of what he looks like, except when he's a micro, and I have seen him as a micro, and I haven't spoken to him. Jesus says things are swell, things are moving very quickly, time is compressed. We are making ground on the enemy. We are trying hard to be victorious in all arenas, all matters. Synonymously with each other and each domain, synchronicity throughout the hemispheres, throughout our time waves, our pulses. We must strive harder. We must gather the strength to carry on much further than this. I might just read this out to you. This is John 15:16. If the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you not of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you. If you keep my word, they will also keep yours. But all those things that will do to you on account of my name, because they do not know him who sent me. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have been and hated both me and my Father. But the word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. That's why the Messiah is here, the helper. They hated me without a cause. That's interesting, don't you think? Jews operate without a cause. They feel like it's their predicament as a Jew to purposely infiltrate and exercise their right to reign under a dark lord against any Christ that comes past their gaze, that crosses their path. They hated me without a cause. They have no excuse. They were hating someone because it hates Jesus. Maybe the cause is some type of previous life where God has forsaken them. Maybe it's some type of slight or wrath that God has killed them in natural disaster ways. But they hate without a cause. And this is what a Jew basically comes down to when you're dealing with Christians and Gentiles. This innate ability to hate and to act out and to externalize their internal anger, their fury, their wrath, to slay and slain people by the masses. These Jewish spies knew about the silver sun. They knew that the Messiah, that a Messiahship had begun. They knew that if they did not turn to God and turn away from their secularism, that they will be forsaken. It can be fixed. And BB will have to fix it. And there will be penalties. And there will be punishment. As long with rewards and good karma and incentives for those who did their duties. It goes both ways. So Godspeed. God bless. Take care of your loved ones. Be the face of God to your friends. And say a prayer for me, if you could. I've gotten through a lot the past few weeks. We have, us. And we're making progress. My cancers, my lumps have mostly disappeared. and I'm on the road to greatness, scaling the foothills of greatness, they would say. Godspeed to you and your family. Hope, joy, light, blessings to you and to all those that you know. I hope God sends you a message today that only you will find and discover and know that it's from Him. Vaya con Dios.